Orleans right now with the latest on the search. Mills, so the Gary Price capture, what do you know about where they got him, what happened, and whether maybe there were others who might be nearby him?
Right. Well, good evening to you, Ashley. We weren't sure if we were going to get any updates in this manhunt today, but we did get a response from Louisiana State Police saying that they did capture a fourth inmate, Gary Price, 21 years old. He's been charged with first-degree attempted murder, domestic abuse, as well as aggravated assault. And Louisiana State Police tell me that he was found less than 20 minutes northeast of the city, and local media reports are saying that he was actually found in a home, Ashley.
So it looks like you're in the French Quarter, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm so curious about the public and whether people are scared because these are hardened criminals that are out and they're desperate. They don't want to go back.
Right. Well, if you look around, you would never know that there are more than 200 officers that are searching for those 6 remaining inmates. But we did speak with people who live here, and they tell us that they're frustrated. But it's really the city leaders that keep pointing fingers at each other. Now, the district attorney, Jason Williams, he did say today that he was personally afraid for himself, but also for 2 of his lawyers that helped convict one of those escaped inmates. He says that those 2 lawyers took their families, got out of town because they were nervous about retaliation or anything like that. But as you can see around me here on Bourbon Street, it really is just a normal Monday night.
It's unbelievable. It just looks like, yeah, there's a guy who was leaping behind you almost for joy. I don't know. I want to ask our control room if they might have some of those interviews that we might be able to play, because I know Mills was busy all day collecting some of it. Mills, I want to run some of the stuff that you collected today, some of the people you talked to, because I was just fascinated to hear what they said. Okay, let's roll it.
This news broke as we were arriving, so as I was getting to the hotel, I was getting texts from different people like, did you see what's happening where you're going right now? So, yeah, just was a little bit concerned at first, but haven't really heard anything too crazy over where we are, because I guess probably they're moving away from the area.
I haven't been really overly concerned about it. I haven't seen a lot of fear. I mean, someone I know looked it up. They say it's not like they're out to get us.
Those are some tough New Orleaners, if that's the right noun. So quick question. The governor is suggesting that all of the inmates from that institution be moved. If that institution is crowded, doesn't that mean there's not a lot of space around the system? Where on earth would you put them?
Right. Well, that audit is going to review their basic jail guidelines. And as you said, it's going to remove all of the Department of Correction inmates. So a little bit different. It's going to be the state ones. And he also says that he's called on the Inspector General to make sure that there's an inventory list of all of the detainees within the Orleans Justice Center who have not gone to trial and who have not been sentenced. And there's been some back and forth, some finger pointing between the DA, Jason Williams, and the governor about why it's been taking so long for a lot of these cases to get through as well, Ashley.
Yeah, I heard that that's part of the problem, is that a lot of these guys have been in there for several years awaiting their actual trials. And so maybe that's why they were sort of able to hatch plans. You get enough time with your crew. The other thing is I heard that these pods have, over 10 people in them and that they were never designed to have that many people. I'm not going to ask you to do the math because there's a lot of math that comes into this problem, Mills, but it sounded as though there might have been like one person watching over 100 at times. It just seemed, well, look at the picture. This guy is hauling on this door. I timed it. It was for well over a minute and a half, putting his foot up and yanking and pulling on that locked door. Other inmates popped by to give him a hand, and nobody seemed to notice this or hear this, which tells me that there are barely any guards looking at these guys.
Right. Well, when that escape happened, it happened between midnight and 1 o'clock. And the sheriff says that there was one civilian sheriff officer that was supposed to be watching those security cameras. But then when that escape happened, that employee actually went to go and grab food. The DA says that obviously this is absurd. It should have never happened because these security cameras should be monitored 24/7. The sheriff says that they're only 60% staffed. And of course, they are overcrowded. And she says that this would not have been able to happen without help from within her own department. And so that's why there's 3 sheriff employees that are suspended right now without pay until this investigation is over.
I remember just watching with awe as I saw these two inmates just hauling on the lock, and eventually it worked. They got what they wanted.